how to decorate a cake using the Rosette technique. This is a really simple technique that is pretty fun and you can do with virtually any cake decorating tip. So that's why I wanted to show you a couple examples of different tips and what kind of rosettes they make, and then how you can actually apply it to decorate a whole cake. Hopefully you caught up on the previous 2 episodes that taught you how to frost, stack, and do borders on a cake. And if you haven't yet, definitely go back and check those out so that you have a nice, beautiful, smooth cake to start out with when you try these rosettes. So to get started, you're gonna need a couple things. Just like you needed in the last border decorating video, you are still gonna need your piping bags. Again, you can use like a Ziploc bag, probably about a gallon size. If you don't wanna go get these piping bags, you can just use that. You're going to need your piping tips. Today I have a new one. This is a Wilton tip 199, and I have 2 others that I'm going to show you too. And if you are going to use a bunch of different kinds of tips, you are going to want to go get some couplers. If you get a set, these metal tips are going to come with these white couplers, but if you're buying tips individually, you're going to have to get these couplers separately as well. So, to start, I am going to show you how to fill this bag, just to make sure if you missed the last video, you're all caught up on what you need to do for that, and then we're going to get started with the rosettes. So, the first thing you want to do is take your coupler. This is the part that's going to go inside the bag, so you want to drop it in. And you want to get it so that these grooves in the top part are outside of the bag. So you want to cut the top off of your bag, push it up. I didn't really cut off enough. I don't know if you can see that the grooves are still in the bag, so just a little more off. And now we have our grooves exposed. So now we're going to put the tip on. And then the collar just screws right into those grooves. Now to fill your bag, fold your sides down. Again, I think I said this last time, if some people like to put their bags actually in a cup so that it stands up like this and the sides drape over the cup, then it is easy to fill. I just like to hold it, because to me, getting the cup is a whole other step I don't necessarily want to do all the time. So, you're going to get your frosting. Again, you can color your frosting with really any food dye. I like to use Wilton gel food colorings. I think that gel food coloring works a lot better than liquid colorings because it doesn't add any liquid to your frosting and it gets a really deep, saturated color. And once my bag is filled, and I didn't put all my frosting in, this is only going to be filled a little less than halfway, which is fine. You don't want to fill your bag too far past halfway because you want to make sure you have control over the tip. And if you're filled all the way up to here, that's a lot of space between your hand and the end of the frosting bag. So now we're going to make our first rosette. So a rosette is kind of exactly what it sounds like. It's not actually a piped rose. It kind of looks like a rose. It's close enough, but that's why we call it the rosette. So I have my piping bag from before, and I have the 1M tip in this one. As I said before, these are all Wilton brand tips. There are other brands of cake decorating tips, and they have slightly different numbers. So just so you know, I'm using the Wilton brands. So this is the 1M. This is what you use for your other border styles. I really like to use this for rosettes because it makes a nice big full one. So the way that you're going to start, this one you are actually going to hold at a 90-degree angle to your surface. You're going to hold your tip straight up and down. And you are going to start by just making a little mound of frosting in the middle, and then you're actually going to move in a very, very slight circle. I like to go counterclockwise, but you can go clockwise if you want. My frosting is very warm and it's sliding out. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to pipe my center, and then I'm going to apply consistent pressure all the way in a circle. And as I lift off, I'm going to reduce my pressure. So I'm going to show that again. Remember, let it build in the center for a minute and go in a tight circle around, lift off as you pull away. And that is how you get a nice, big, beautiful rosette. You can make them, like I just made that one, a little bit bigger. The way you make it larger is just by moving your hand in a bigger circle. So you can kind of play around with what feels comfortable for you and what style you like, if you like them a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. This tip is a large tip, so it is going to make bigger ones like this. It is harder to make smaller rosettes with this tip. So now, I'm gonna show you what rosettes look like if you use different kinds of tips. So this tip right here is the 18 Wilton tip. It is a star tip, just like the 1M, but as you can see, it is a lot smaller. So let's get this extra out. So this is gonna make a smaller rosette. You're gonna use the same technique though. Let it build in the center, move out and around, and pull away. Much smaller. It is a much different rosette. So that is a bit smaller. And now, the great thing about rosettes is that you can really use any tip you want, and it's just experimenting about what kind of rosette it makes. So this is a 199 Wilton tip, and this one, as you can see, has a lot of lines on it. So this is going to create a vastly different type of rosette. It's not gonna look like that. It's not gonna look like that. It's gonna be much different. So we're gonna use the same technique though. Hold it at 90 degrees. Start by building your slight mound in the center, even pressure all the way around in a circle, and then lighten your pressure as you pull away. So now I'm going to demonstrate a couple ways that you can just decorate a whole cake using this rosette technique. This is the cake that I used for the last video, so that's why there's a couple frosting colors stuck on there, but we're actually just gonna cover it all back up with the new decorating style. So the last video had a lot of borders in it, and I actually wanna show you one kind of border that when you're decorating a cake with rosettes, it might be a cute idea to do. You can actually use rosettes as a border around the bottom or top of your cake. So I'm gonna start on the bottom of my cake. Now, when you're doing rosettes on the side, you need to hold, just like when you were practicing it on the flat surface and you held your piping bag so that it was at a 90-degree angle to your surface, the same goes for if you're doing it on the side of a cake. So I'm not gonna hold my bag vertically like this when I'm trying to decorate the side of the cake. I'm gonna hold it at a 90-degree angle to my surface, so to my cake. So you're just gonna do the same method. So now we're gonna look at the top of the cake. This is definitely not something that you need to worry about copying. You don't have to make the same cake as me, but this is just a way that I like to decorate a cake if I wanna use this rosette style. So I'm gonna start with my nice big rosette. And I know that this tip, this 1M tip, is gonna make a big rosette because I practiced. That's something that is helpful when you are just learning to test out your cake tips. See which one makes what kind of rosette. See what style you like and what style you want to put on your cake. So that was with my 1M tip. Now I'm gonna come and pick up this really fun one, the Wilton 199 that has all those lines on it, and I'm just gonna start filling in the cake. come in with my smaller tip here. And I'm pretty happy with that. I think it looks super cute, looks super fun. If somebody's 3 favorite colors are purple, blue, and green, it would be a great cake for them. So you can totally try this at home just by choosing different cake tips, seeing what kind of rosettes they make, and then putting it on the tops and sides of a cake. So that is all I have for you for cake decorating lessons. I really hope that you have been following along with all 3 of these videos at home and that you've tried some of them. If you have baked a cake at home and tried some of these decorating techniques, I would love to see what you do, so you can add it and take a picture and add it to the comments on this video. I would really love to see what you've come up with. If you have any questions or you need help while you are working on some of these, feel free to reach out to me on there or through Facebook when you see this video, and I'm happy to provide some tips while you're working on your cakes at home. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you see and you want to check out some of the other things that I do, I'm on Instagram at Dolce del Rosso, and you can see all my finished cakes there, so definitely check it out.